Welcome, Science There Are. We are students of Civil Engineering of the third semester of the Juan of the Castellanos. The group is this one chef Diego González, Ismael Tocarruncho, and the one who speaks to them, Eduard Fresno. In the following video, we will announce different use of the wood according to the Colombian norm NSR10. Factors that affect the behavior of the wood. Content of dampness. It is necessary to highlight that when the dampness increases the wood resistance, lose that it wants to say that when the water quantity increases the solid matter, it diminishes. This happens when it has a percentage of dampness to the 20%. The density. When the body has major density, this one will have major quantity of matter, solid, fewer porosity, and major mechanical resistance. That temperature, if given via sample relation, where there is major temperature, there will be major dampness, and this will do that it diminish his mechanical resistance. On the contrary, when the temperature diminishes, it increases his mechanical resistance since his atoms contract, and this does that it is more compact and less porous. Assault of insects. Termites use the wood as food. Ants, bees, these beetles do not use the wood as food, but as refuge, turning the wood into powder and living greens. Chemical assault. The water, the alcohol, alkaline solution, and acid oxidiers fill the wood and they degrade it. Serrate is produced realized after the extraction of that the trunk which the trees to cut the trunk by means of circular saws, also so-called beam and goat. These cuts are realized in different ways according to the usefulness of the wood. Dried. For dried respective of the wood is necessary to bear certain factors in mind as they it are the dampness which provides a change in the dimension of the trunk. When the wood remains to dry change his weight and it will have minor mechanical resistance. And finally, the card of having treated the wood with conservates, since the wood has to be complete dry to obtain major results.
Wall in construction structural. The use of wall a construction system or a structural element as to man throughout the world history and the big wing next to the stone. It was the main constructive element. Substantive were materials appeared that the relating is use. Correct the elevated evolution of this technology allows to between more reliable and economical structural production and their brute. Broom for the fraud, a structural point of wind shows ecological and environment a walls into compute with the rest of the structural materials. Mechanic properties of wall. Fire Introduction to calculation of wall structural layer, wall laminate wall, structural timber board, microlaminate wall pelfiles, wall house, all welded structural example of wall construction. Classification of structural wall from house. Some wall bands of string covers bands and string.
My name is Diego Gonzalez. Wood in construction and structures. The use of wood as a construction system or as a structural element has accompanied the man throughout the world story. At the beginning, next to the stone, it was the main constructive element. Subsequently, new materials appeared that they relegate its use. Currently, the evolution of its technology allows the obtain more relief and economical structural products, and their better cannot but from a structural point of view such as ecological and environmental, allows it to compete with the rest of the structural materials. From the ecological point of view, the energy required for the manufacture of wood is null. The tree uses solar energy, and the energy consumed in the process of its transformation is much less than that required by other materials.